and consistent performance. I must mention what Mr. Gopal has already told you, that he had a brilliant academic career from his childhood. He got admission in the renowned Nendrahat School, about which you must be hearing number of times, almost any such occasions we talk about Nendrahat, and he is a product of that famous school of our country. He also happens to be elder brother of Mr. Anurag, our computer head. So he is related to our family in many ways. I welcome him on my behalf and on behalf of all of you. Today he has opted, that he has liked to talk to you students, and I think it will be a brilliant session for you. You will learn a lot which may be useful for you for your lifelong time. It was very informal talk. It was very informal talk. He has not come with any preparation with any subject or anything. So instead of taking my time, now I like to hand over this mic to Arvindji, and it was our pleasure to listen to him. Arvindji.
First of all, thank you, Gopalji, for that introduction. That was really a very exalting introduction about me. I don't know how much do I deserve those applause. I was never a very good student. I worked hard. I was never a very meritorious student, or what you would say. I was never that. Anyway, respected Ramesh Mishra ji, respected Paulji, respected the teachers of the school here, and Rajesh Mishra ji, and my young friends. Let me start by straight away apologizing for having this session with you on the eve of the day when you are about to leave for the holy celebrations. I can understand most of you must have felt, this is kahan se ye fir raha. You must be engaged in packing and all. I am told from tomorrow you will be having a break of about 15-16 days, a holy break. And I am sure all of you must be looking forward to meeting your parents, your friends, your brothers, sisters. But I just came today from Delhi, and I have been missing this opportunity to interact with you people for quite some time. So I thought I must come today, otherwise I'll miss this time again. So that's how I'm here. I requested Ramesh ji yesterday morning that I'll be coming here, so can we have a session? And he was gracious enough to immediately accept my request, and that's how we are here. So excuse me for this inconvenience on the eve of your holidays, but I will compensate that by trying to make it interesting. I'm not going to bore you. I'm not going to lecture you on, anything which is very high principled, or I won't do that. While coming to this place, I thought, what should I tell you? Whatever I'm going to tell you, I have tried to, I was just thinking, what would I like to listen from a speaker like me here? If I would have been seated there, what would I have expected him to say, or what would I have loved to hear from him. So based on that, I thought I'll just I will just collect my thoughts and then tell you. So basically, I'll just tell you briefly about my life history. It is not because you may or may not know, but just with a view for you to relate with me. I'm just one among you. I'll tell you how. So I will just briefly touch upon my life history, and then I will touch upon you as a student. What are the challenges, what you should focus upon, whatever I think might help you. And also, finally, on the life ahead. What are the challenges? After all, some of you are old enough, you are transitioning from childhood to adulthood. And adulthood is completely different. So what will be the challenges ahead? So I'll briefly try to touch upon those. And I will, and then of course I will be very happy if you have some queries or some kind of doubts which you need to clarify. I will try to do that. There is a reason why I am speaking here in English. I know at times our understanding, whatever we get from the speaker, sometimes gets limited because of the, some bit of gap in the language. But this is deliberate. I will tell you one thing before I start. Language is important. And which is the language, it is not important. Language is just medium to communicate, and you communicate. Whichever language you feel comfortable, you communicate. But particularly I have seen in this part of the country, in Bihar, mostly in Uttar Pradesh, Hindi belt, there is a reluctance, there is a hesitation among students to, to learn English or to express themselves in English. With a result, I have seen when I have interacted with even young IAS professionals and IPS professionals, I have realized they are the smartest of the people, but at times I have felt that they are just not able to express themselves. There is a limitation of language. So my first point, key point here would be that try to get yourself as conversant in English as possible. This is important, I am telling you. If you want to succeed in life, this is important. Because you will find this is one language which is a kind of lingua franca to the whole world. This will open doors for you to the whole world. Otherwise, you will miss something. You may achieve academically everything. You can go to the top of your career. But you will miss something if you are not able to express yourself in the language in which the world talks. At least a large part of the world talks, because I'll come later on why that is important. So let me start from my life history. So as told by Gopalji in the introduction and also touched upon by Palji, I belong to this place, this area. I was born in a village in Madhepura district under Kumarkhand block, a village called Israel, way back in 1959. My early childhood was spent here in this area. I used to go to a school from class 2 onwards to a school called Shagdan Smarak Madhyamik Vidyalaya. It is not very far away from, if I don't know how many of you are quite familiar with this area, but it is somewhere in Madhubani. It is not very far away inside. And I recently, during my last visit, I just saw it from outside and I got completely disappointed. That school I found is a completely bad state of disrepair, in a dilapidated condition. Some new building have come up, but whatever, I had that mental image of that school as a beautiful place where I used to go and used to play around in the field and all. But I found that that was in a very bad state of disrepair. So I thought someday I'll take that up with the district administration and see if something, that's because a government school, so something could be done about that. So later on, when my father got transferred to Kishanganj, I got educated till about class 7 in that Jagannath Smarak Madhyamik Vidyalaya. Jagdamb Smarak here and Jagannath there. Both of them government school, certainly not like this. Very, very ordinary kind of school where I went. And then fortunately I was lucky, in Netherhart admission test, and that's how I landed in Netherhart school. And by the time I had gone there in 1970, Rameshji and both of his friends, they had already left. They were from the first batch, and first batch means 1954, and I went there in 1970. So I was quite young at this, straight away 16 years younger to them. Netherhart, I must tell you, this is a school, but school is, there are so many schools. One thing which marked Netherhart different than rest of the schools even in the country was the quality of teachers that we had. So we were extremely lucky to have the best of the teachers there who really knew their subject and were so kind, so enthusiastic about telling about their subject, so keen to make sure that students learn the thing. So that was one thing. But that apart, that you can get at many places, and I'm sure here also I'm told the faculty is so good. So that's there. So Netherhart was there. But one important thing which completely distinguishes Netherhart from the rest of the ilk is, some of the values. And my friends, at this stage of life, maybe you may not be able to appreciate the importance of some of the core values of human being, which all of us should have. So that values was inculcated in us, at that young age of, say, from the age of 10, 11 years to another next 6, 7 years. Doing everything with your own, and no hesitation in doing any kind of manual work, cleaning your own utensils, respect for the elders, compassion for the, fellow human beings, compassion for empathy with the, people who do manual job, that kind of a thing. And I tell you, that has stuck with us, with all of us, throughout our life. We are very, very clear about that. So that is one thing which really, distinguishes a school, which we are lacking in most of the schools. Are you all with me so far? You think I should you should try to speak in Hindi so that you can get the essence of it more clearly?
No, sir.
Okay, great, very good. I'm gradually getting energy from you. That is the advantage of being in the young company. An old man, I'm not that old, but in the company, they will immediately chastise me, but yes, I'm now 63, so a person at 63 years of age requires that energy which I see in your eyes. So, those values, the ethical values, the moral values are very important. Education is nothing. If you score 100% marks in a subject, I think that may not be good enough unless and until you are a good human being. So my dear friends, try to be a good human being. Coming back to Netherhart, so we finished Netherhart in 1977 and I moved to Patna Science College. Now here, I'll tell you one thing. In life it is very important, and that is for all of you, to be focused on what you want to achieve. This is very important. You must know what you want to achieve and be focused. And I'll tell you later when I'm in part 2, what I actually mean by being focused on that. So in Netherhart at that point of time, after matriculation, most of us used to decide whether we have to go for the engineering or go for the medical or go for the general line, so to say. This was very, very clear. At that point of time, jobs were very less. So these were the main kind of, the areas where the students used to immediately get to. If you are going towards the IITs and all, it is understood that you will become an engineer. It was not a very frequent route at that point of time to go to IIT and then turn to civil services. And if you are going for a medical, you are going to become a doctor. That was also very clear. And if you are coming to for a general graduation, basically it is understood that you will be preparing for civil services or other such general exams. So I was focused. I knew that what I want to be. I mean, that was at least my desire, and I wanted to pursue that. So that's how, irrespective of any of my colleagues or my peer group doing any kind of attempt for IIT or anything, I did not do anything. I came to Patna Science College and did my physics honors, and then moved to Delhi and did my MSc in physics. So till that point, the only point was that yes, I have to do my post-graduation and appear for the civil services, and I did that. And finally, I was able to clear the civil services, and I landed in the Indian Police Service in 1984 batch. And there is a cadre system, so I was allotted Assam cadre, not Meghalaya. Assam Meghalaya is a joint cadre. Mostly I was in Assam. And from 1984 to 1991, I served in Assam. Later on, I moved on deputation to Government of India. I served in Intelligence Bureau for quite a long time. I got posted at different places in the country and also abroad. And then finally, I had the opportunity to head the organization for 3 years. And then after retirement, I was appointed by the President through a warrant as Vigilance Commissioner in the Central Vigilance Commission. In my present job, basically Central Vigilance Commission, I'll just briefly explain it to you. It is an apex organization. It's the apex anti-corruption watchdog body, which basically acts as a watchdog body for all the government functionaries in Government of India and also public sector undertakings and public sector banks, etc. It has under its wing, as the investigating wing, the Central Bureau of Investigation, CBI. So all corruption related cases comes under the supervision of the Commission, and to that extent the CBI comes under supervision of the Commission. Similarly, the Enforcement Directorate, which is a completely financial investigation unit, they come under the Commission's supervision as far as the corruption related cases are concerned. All the officers in CBI except the director are appointed by a committee having CBC and BC as members and some other people. And the ED, director, and all the officers in the ED get appointed by a committee, again by the same committee, with CBC and BCs and some other members as committee. So this is, and all complaints of all kinds of complaints, people are free to write to us. In all the public sector organization, government ministries, departments, we have the post of CVOs, Central Vigilance Officers. So they come under they are our extended hand. So they do the investigation part as far as that particular department or public sector undertakings are concerned. So that's how the commission works. That's all. So I just thought I must explain it to you for your own knowledge. Now the second part of the thing, which is important and which is, I think you should be interested in that. So you as a students, now some of you would be, I think, some of you must already be appearing in the class 12 or class 10 exam, which may not be here. And some of you would be preparing for that exam in near future. You will be appearing 1 year hence, 2 year hence. Now, writing an exam is a completely different skill. So you please always keep this in mind. Your aim is to learn the thing, you keep learning. But while you are preparing for an exam, while you are writing an exam, it is only the test of what you are writing on that particular day in that particular answer sheet. The person who is going to examine you, give you marks, is just not aware of what labor you have put in, how many hours you have studied, or what you know. He is simply going by what actually you have written there. Then he gives you marks there. So this is very important as to add on that particular day what actually you write. I have seen many people, they know, they are brilliant students, they know everything, but they are not able to score good marks in exam. They know so much that right in the first, well, they are answering the first question, they will write so much that they will end up missing some of the questions later. They will not be able to finish everything. So it's an exam. You must structure your everything. You spend about 5-7 minutes right in the beginning thinking how you are going to write the whole paper. Distribute your time. Collect your thoughts. You just see that what you are going to write in that question. Attempting all the question is always very important, because if you don't attempt, you get a 0. If you attempt, there is always a finite possibility of you getting a non-zero marks, which can be anything from 0 to full marks. So it is a good idea to always attempt all the questions.